So this guy was in the kitchen, and we kind of started flirting, and I was kind of drunk and just wanted to flirt with him, I guess. I don't know. And I just asked him if he'd want to do ballroom dancing with me. Couldn't think of anything else. And so I asked him if he'd do that thing where you roll me up and dip me. And so he held out his hand, and I took it, all like a princess. But we were stopped. We were interrupted. Right when I was about to roll up, 3 guys came into the kitchen. They didn't even come all the way into the kitchen. They just came into the entrance, all 3 standing there. And they looked older. They were all headbanger looking, fresh off MTV. I mean, they had like the wild hair and everything, all the leather, torn up jeans. And they started making small talk with us and started talking with the guy I was dancing with. And I thought they knew each other. So I just kind of, just kind of waited for them to finish. But the guy in the middle was holding a motorcycle helmet. And as they were talking, he was just kind of looking into my eyes. I couldn't help but notice he was looking into my eyes, and he had this strange smile, and it wasn't creepy at all. It was very mysterious. And finally he spoke to me. He said, "You sure would look cute in this. Do you mind if I put it on you?" And I laughed and said, "No, go ahead." And he put this motorcycle helmet on my head, and he looked all serious about it. I was laughing because he was all into it. He adjusted the chin strap, and he made sure it was snug on my head and everything. And he was concerned. It was like he was on a mission to put this helmet on my head, and I just let him, and I was laughing. And okay, so now I have a helmet on my head. And then the guys finished talking, and then the 3 guys left the kitchen and rejoined the party. I thought they just went back into the party, People were all over the house. And so it was just me and this guy in the kitchen again. And he said, "Well, where were we?" And I said, "Well, you were about to roll me up and dip me." And, just to be stupid, I left the helmet on. And so so we started all over again. We stood a few feet apart from each other, and he held out his hand for me, and I took his hand and rolled up. And when he dipped me, he tripped, and he lost his balance, and poor guy, I mean, it wasn't just us falling, it was like the weight of him, it just threw me. I was thrown down. My head hit the corner of a table. The dining room table had this extremely sharp corner. It was like this old wooden thing, and I was just sent crashing into this corner. The left side of my head is what broke my fall. All I know is I'm just falling, and next thing you know, I hear this like a thunk, like a loud bam, and then I'm on the floor. And it just for a second, I was just out for a second. I don't even know if I was blacked out. All I know is I remember hearing the loud sound, and then I remember opening my eyes. I was on the kitchen floor, and I was looking up. I was on my back, and I was looking up, and everybody was around me and everything, and they helped me up, and I was embarrassed, because that was like totally not cool. It really compromised my image, no way, I can't fall when I'm dancing. And I was humiliated, but I was laughing, and everybody... But see, I still had the helmet on, and everybody was like, "Amy, if you wouldn't have had that helmet on, that could have really messed you up, because it hit my left temple. That's where the corner hit me. And if I wouldn't have been wearing that helmet, there's no telling what would have happened to me." And so I looked around for the guys who brought it, and they weren't there. And I turned to the guy I was dancing with. I said, well, where'd they go? And he goes, I don't know who they were. So it turns out he didn't know him, and nobody knew who they were. So they were just 3 guys, just random people who came into the party, put a helmet on my head, and left, I guess. And just in time, just seconds before I was sent crashing into the table. And that blew me away. This happened right after I got saved. I'm telling you, I mean, right after I received Christ, all these miracles started happening, and I thought it was normal. In fact, I didn't tell a lot of people. I thought this was the Christian experience. I had no idea that my life was just sort of getting on a slightly unique path, that I was going to be one that God chose to do some wild and woolly things with, because he knew I have a big mouth. No, really, I didn't have a big mouth. I was silenced for years, like a little pressure cooker, and I finally exploded and had to start talking. And it started with sharing my little printed testimony, and then evolved into the blogs, and now apparently this is what I'm doing now. I have no idea. I'm always flying by the seat of my pants. I have no idea what I'm doing, really. Each new day is a new idea. Each new day is... I have no blueprint. I have no game plan. I have no idea. I'm assuming this is my final frontier. There's no other way I can imagine sharing my stuff. I have no idea. Unless I'll climb up on the roof with a megaphone or something and start yelling at the people walking by. The maintenance men. So that's my helmet story. It's true. It blows my mind. It really happened. And when I was having the MRIs done over the past year or two for the West Nile, for the encephalitis, they discovered this place in my left temporal lobe that it's like this mystery spot. They don't know what it is. There's several theories, and one neurologist was sure that it was an MS spot. That's why they did the lumbar puncture on me, to confirm her MS suspicions. But come to find out, that's how they discovered the West Nile. She thought it was an MS spot. Another doctor, at first glance, an ER doctor, said it was a small tumor. Another doctor said it was epilepsy scarring from seizures, but another neurologist said, no, this is an old injury. He said, this is scarring from an old injury. And he said, have you ever been hit in the head? And I said, I didn't, I told him no. I did tell him about the I told him I bumped my head when I was wearing a helmet, but that's it. I didn't tell him the whole story. So I don't know. I don't know what the scarring is. It's in the exact same spot that I was hit. So and my seizures, when I was before the West Nile was discovered and I was having these seizures, the MRIs show that all the seizures are happening in that spot. So I don't know how this is all related. I have no idea, but that place in my brain is playing a role in what's happening now with my brain. It is causing problems. All the seizures are isolated in the left temporal lobe. So I have no idea. That mystery is going to be hopefully looked into a little bit more pretty soon here. I have to get back to see the doctors to figure some more things out. But so anyway, I don't think I've escaped fully from that incident, but it's a miracle nevertheless. There's no telling. I probably would have had severe brain damage if I wouldn't have had that helmet on. And also the story is special because I did end up dating that guy a little later, a few years later after that. Or maybe a year later, I don't know. And I like to remind him that happened. Because he's all, Mr. Cool Guy. So I like to remind him about that. Alright, that's it. Bye.